So this is Ndlovu, academic columnist of the Catalyst, a newsletter by UKZN Dreamtime. And today we have the pleasure of interviewing our Dean Head of School, Professor Kamwendo. So, sir, like the obvious question that always gets to people, like, who is Professor Kamwendo?
Thank you so much, Noluthando. It's a pleasure for me to talk to you. Let's talk about Gregory Kamwendo. Of course, you call him Professor Kamwendo, but who is Gregory Kamwendo? Gregory Kamwendo is a Malawian, born in Malawi. Had my first degree in Malawi, Bachelor of Education at the University of Malawi. Then I proceeded to go to the United Kingdom, where I pursued my master's degree in language studies, and thereafter also did my PhD at the University of Helsinki in Finland. And from 2004 to 2012, I taught at University of Botswana. Previously, I taught at my alma mater, University of Malawi. But then from 2004 to 2012, I was at the University of Botswana, where I occupied several roles. For example, I joined in 2004 as a senior lecturer in language and social sciences education. And then 3 years down the line, I was promoted to associate professor. And another 3 years down the line, I was promoted to full professor of language education. And in my 8 years at the University of Botswana, I ended up spending 5 of those years as head of department. I'm a family man with 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter. The firstborn is my daughter. She's doing her master's in law. She's studying this year right here at UKZN. I've got a son who's doing Bachelor of Social Science Housing, based at Howard, and another son based at Westview campus doing Bachelor of Commerce Accounting. And my last born is in grade 11, and I'm happily married to Juliet, my dear wife, and she's also pursuing her own PhD in gender studies. So that's Gregory Kamwendo for you.
Wow, it's like amazing, like that's some really great educational history right there. So like, we want to know, like, looking at yourself at this point in time, would you say that you have achieved it all? Like, is there more to come?
Well, definitely I wouldn't say that I've achieved it all. In fact, whatever I've achieved is simply the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is not really, I can't say that I've achieved it all. I guess if God gives me life, there's more to come. I can't tell what it is, but I'm expecting more. And I'm also looking for greater heights. Like any other human being, I'm ambitious. And certainly right now I'm a dean, but who said I should not be ambitious to dream for other positions? As one of my former presidents in Malawi said, that was the late President Bingwa Mutharika, he said, we must dream in color, not dream in black and white. So for me, I always believe that the last day I'll stop fighting for my upliftment is when I'll get into the coffin. But so long as I breathe, I will continue to pursue my way up.
So, hearing all this just inspiring. So, like, what is your inspiration in life? What inspired you to become who you are today?
Well, initially, let me confess to you. Initially, when I was young, I never dreamed of becoming a teacher. I never dreamed of becoming a teacher. Actually, I was inspired by my late brother-in-law, who was a district commissioner, and he had specialized in public administration. And every time I saw him, I wanted to become what they call a DC, a district commissioner, administrator of a district, and be in charge of chiefs on what. I was inspired by him. So it all started when I went into when I was selected into university, by the way, I got into University of Malawi as a first year student. You can, I hope you are not able to guess, in 1984, October 84. That's when I got into the university as a first year student, October. First year student, going for Bachelor of Education, specializing in English and Chichewa. Chichewa is our national language in Malawi. And then what happened was I had two brothers, both are late. But my other brother, the first one was Prof, and the other one was Edward. But I think it is Brother Edward who inspired me greatly. Let me tell you this, and I think you may wish to hear this story as students who are majoring in education. I scored very high according to the Malawi School Certificate of Education, which is the equivalent to your matric here. And when I got into the university, some people started talking, and they started talking to me and my brother and other relatives, saying, "You people, the Kamwendos, you must be crazy. How can you send this boy who is so brilliant to become a teacher?" Because their belief was that teaching is meant for those who are dull guys who can't do elsewhere. Then that's where you dump all these guys. So they just couldn't believe that what they called a brilliant boy could end up in education. And I must tell you, I was sort of stressed at some point, almost giving in to these prophets of doom, until my brother said, "Gregory, let me tell you something. I'm telling you as my brother, I'm happy that you've gone to education. Whether you go to education or whatsoever, just make sure that you excel wherever you are. And never be ashamed of being an education student." So I went into the university, and mind you, when we got into the university, there were all these guys who were doing economics, and they would brag to us in the cafeteria that they are doing economics, they are doing this, they are doing mathematics. Those of us who were in education were seen as people who are less brainy, the intellectually starved people. The rules guys are up there. But then I followed the words of wisdom from my brother, that wherever you are, he told me, whether you are a police officer, whether you decide to become a priest, whether you become one, make sure that in that particular field you excel. And indeed, I decided that I was going to make something out of what I had. And we had a 5-year program. At the end of the 5-year program, I came tops of class, and the university decided to recruit me immediately. I did not go out to teach in the schools. I was supposed to teach to some school, but the university grabbed me immediately. And I started teaching in the university as what they call staff associate, which is like a developmental fellow. And that's how I picked it up. And then I also learned that language, even in teaching, there are also hierarchies. Those who teach mathematics think that perhaps they are smarter than those who teach this, and those of us who teach languages, maybe we are lower. And then even the languages, if you teach English, you walk tall. I teach English. But me, I was combining English, Chichewa, and history. Oh, no. But I took pride of that. And it is on the basis of my background in linguistics, English, and Chichewa, that I find myself as a professor of language. And I think I've done well. When I compare myself to some of my colleagues who went for other professions, I think I'm doing far much better. In my class, I think I'm happy to say that I'm a full professor and a dean. One of my classmates was actually the chief of police in the whole of Malawi. So I'm saying, guys, we've done well, because one of us went into the police and became the chief of police in the whole country. Now I'm a dean. I think that, so I'm not ashamed. I always tell students, 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, I had to tell the first year students, said, never be ashamed. I want to see you at the pavilion more, and you should proudly say that you're a teacher of Isizu. Not go to pavilion and ask you, what are your teaching subjects? Oh no, start mentioning some subjects which you think are interesting subjects. So my belief is that whatever you are doing, make sure that you excel. If you, for example, you decide to be a priest, I'm a Roman Catholic, if you decide to be a priest, aim at becoming a bishop, because that's the highest thing. If you become a lecturer, aim at one day becoming a vice chancellor of some university, because that's the highest thing. If you're in politics, aim at becoming the president of the country. So, in whatever field you are, excel.
Oh, this is amazing, because we also got those comments, you know, like you're coming here, like, why are you doing a B.Ed with your 34 points? Like, okay, see you after I finish this degree, you'll see what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to know, like, being in South Africa, in UKZN, how has the experience been?
Well, let me say that you always hear these stories about South Africa. And being a foreigner, you hear all these stories about South Africa. There are all sorts of stories that you hear. And let alone KZN, you hear all sorts of stories. But I think my experience has been good. I'm living UKZN and I'm not living in South Africa. That tells you that for me, it's just I'm just shifting places to another institution within South Africa. But my experiences have been good so far. And the other, perhaps one of my strengths, or that this is not my first time to live outside my country. So I'm used to staying outside my country. I did my master's degree in UK. I did my PhD in Finland. I spent 8 years working neighboring Botswana. So coming to South Africa, yes, it's a new climate, new political and social cultural climate altogether. But I'm used to that idea of living outside your own country, because living outside you and working outside your own country does have lots of demands. It means taking yourself out of your comfort zone. But at the same time, it also means establishing new relationships. And everywhere I go, in Botswana, I establish a relationship. Here in South Africa, I have friends. I have no regrets about my experience. It has been one of the most enriching experiences, especially being in KwaZulu-Natal. And I've enjoyed my work at UKZN. I always say that whatever you go through, even if it is negative, it makes you strong. It makes you grow. So for me, all I can say is that I've enjoyed my stay at UKZN, and the experiences that I've gained at UKZN, no one can take them away from me. They are part of me. It's part of my growth. So I'm so happy.
Wow, I hope we all have that to say when we leave this place for another place. So, like, on the last note, like, one message to have for students?
One message that I would have for students is, please, as I said earlier, dream in color. Do not aim low. Life is so complicated that, Noluthando, if you aim like this, at this low level, life will pull you down, and it will pull you even close to the grave. So aim high, so that when life starts pulling you down, you are somewhere there. So all I would say to the students of Edgewood campus and the School of Education as a whole, one, never be ashamed of your profession. It's a very noble profession. Actually, it's the mother of all professions. It's a noble profession. Aim high in it, excel in it, and in it, you can do whatever you can do. You can become whatever you want to be. You do not have to discard it. You can do it. And I've also joked with my students that if I were to have the chance that Jesus had of dying and resurrecting, unfortunately, when I die, I will not resurrect. But if I had that chance of dying and resurrecting, I will come back, I will still be in education, and I'll still be doing language education, because I found it very interesting. So I will not change jobs. If I were to die and resurrect, I will not change jobs. So, oh no, I want to become whatever. No, I will still come back to academia. So to my students, remaining behind, please enjoy whatever you're doing and excel in it.
Oh, thank you. That was true motivation, I can say. So that we thank you and we wish you all the best throughout your journey.
Thank you so much, Noluthando. All the best to you as well. Stay well.
Okay, thank you. We out.